Well, good morning. Welcome to our regular PWSA board meeting for June 24th, 2022. I'm Erica Strasburger. I'm the vice chair of PWSA, and I will be standing in as chair of today's meeting for Alex Shuley, fearless chair, who is out of town today and unable to chair the meeting. So any mistakes I make, we can blame squarely on Alex. Thank you for your patience. I'll ask Ms. Gibson to call the roll.
Sure. Miss McCormick Barron.
Here.
Miss Cristello. Mr. Domock.
Present.
Miss Lieber.
Here.
Dr. Morrell.
Here.
Miss Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Thomas.
Here.
We have 6 members present, 2 members are absent.
Thank you. Do we have anyone for public comment today?
No public comment today.
Very good. Thank you very much. So we will move on to approval of the minutes for May 27, 2022 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from May?
Motion to approve, Audrey Morrell.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second, BJ Leber.
I think we got one of you here. Thank you.
Okay.
Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Minutes are approved. Thank you very much. Now I'll turn it over to our chair and our staff to report on some reports and updates.
Great. Thank you. Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, members of the PWSA board. Included in your board 2022. Within the finance report, you'll see that year-to-date receipts are up 14.7%, approximately $9.9 million. I do expect this strong performance on our revenues to continue throughout the rest of the year, barring any major economic changes that may occur, given some uncertainties now in the market. But barring any major changes, I do expect this to continue for the authority. In addition, our cash balance has remained steady due to this strong performance. Our capital program also continues to progress as a result of the recent Penvest closings and lead service line replacements that are funded via the American Rescue Plan. I would also like to point out that it is officially budget season here at PWSA. Exciting time for finance, and really the authority as a whole, just to really, comprehensively look at proposals that are set forth to, really replace the infrastructure here at the authority, both on the capital side, but then also on a maintenance side, through the operating budget. The 2023 through 2027 capital improvement plan is currently being drafted and will be presented to the PWSA board for approval during the September board meeting. The operating budget process will kick off in July, and that will be presented for approval during the December board meeting. PWSA through this process will continue to prioritize requests based on environmental compliance, safety, security, operations, and maintenance efficiencies, really to enhance and continue to rebuild our infrastructure here at PWSA. That has been in the forefront of our minds through the prior processes here when we go through our budgeting annually, but it's going to continue to be an important aspect as we look to see what's critical for our infrastructure, but then also making sure that the expenses we put forth are cognizant of our ratepayers and making sure that we utilize our funds in the best way possible. With all that being said, now I'll turn it over to the board and answer any questions they may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Do we have any questions from board members? Well, I appreciate the update, Ed. I know this is, as some budget directors have said in the past, the most wonderful time of the year for finance folks. So budget season being an exciting time to get our vision, our plan together for the entity. So thanks for all your work and great job on some of the recent grants and loans that have come in recently.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to engineering.
Good morning, Vice Chair Strasburger and members of our board. I will start with a review of our drinking water program and then move to the sewer. The three 2022 lead service line replacement projects, including priority, neighborhood, and urgent projects, are continuing at this time. Through Friday, June 17th, contractors have completed 114 public and 124 private lead service line replacements. Current supplier diversity is approximately 79% of positive report. The 2021 small diameter water main replacement project continues with a replacement of 17,500 linear feet of water line, which is about 52% of the total, and 110 public side and 96 private side lead service line replacements, and out of a total of 294 public side service line replacements. Work is largely complete on the current phase of the water line replacement for the city's BRT project on 5th Avenue and Forbes Avenue, where PWSA has completed the replacement of 17,300 linear feet of water line and 200 public side service lines, which broke down to 27 public and 19 private lead service line replacements. So for those keeping score, the current grand total number of lead service line replacements by PWSA since the first replacement back in July of 2016 is a total of 9,173 public and 6,097 private lead service lines. So next I'll move into some of our interactions with PADEP. Staff successfully completed our PADEP inspections of several capital projects on June 2nd, 2022. We received our operating permits on June 3rd, 2022 for the corrosion control chemical storage facilities improvements, which we call the orthophosphate totes to tanks project at both the Aspinwall and the Brecon pump stations. In addition, we also completed the Brecon backup pumping system project and received the operating permit. I wanted to highlight the significance of this project. It's a definite increase in our operational resiliency and through the addition of 3 Godwin dry prime pumps at the Brecon pump station. While we had previously added 4 megawatts of standby power generation, which addresses any interruption of electrical service to the Brecon pump station, these standby pumps will be placed into service should there be any issue that occurs with any of our permanent pumps. So whether it would be a power problem or a actual mechanical failure of a pump, we now have full resiliency by the addition of these pumps. So this is a second layer of resilience for the Highland 1 and Highland 2 super systems, which accounts for over 80% of our average daily water demand. So this is a significant resilience improvement. Note completion of this project is also significant by the marking of our completion of the last project that was in the October 25th, 2017 administrative order. So that is now completely behind us. Progress is continuing to be made with PWSA's water reliability plan projects. Work continues on schedule for both the construction of the Rising Main 3 rehabilitation and replacement, as well as the Highland number 2 reservoir liner and cover replacement, both of which are on track for substantial completion dates of October 31st, 2022. Regarding our sewer programs, work has continued on the 2020 small diameter sewer reconstruction contract 2, with work continuing on Fuchsia Way, Rising Main Avenue, and Center Avenue. Regarding Fuchsia Way, our contractor has completed service line verifications and established temporary water services for all of our customers to allow for the installation of phase 1 of the sewer replacement. The contractor, as well as the CMCI staff, received a nicely written thank you note from a customer for their handling of accommodating access for this customer to their home while completing this work. A very nice tribute to them. So thank you for that. And we are on schedule with the team of Penn Praxis and the Water Center at Penn, where they have submitted the final draft of the Stormwater Strategic Plan on Friday, June 17th, last Friday. Staff will be reviewing and providing comment on this up through July 1st. And staff will brief the board's Stormwater Committee on this report at its next meeting on July 15th. So that concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Barry. Do we have any questions from members of the board?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Barry a couple. Thanks for the update, Barry. I think I know the answers to these, but I'm always curious. Now that we got a few thousand more replacements under our belt, is there any indication they're getting rarer? And is there any indication their predictability is improving, or is this kind of in Pittsburgh remaining a roulette wheel?
So we are seeing a trend where the percentages, and this kind of falls in suit with, we tried to hit the areas where we knew we'd have the highest rate of impact. So the percentages we were seeing earlier on were higher. We are seeing roughly in that 30% range, down to as low as 12%. You know, the BRT wasn't strategic in any kind of lead replacement, but the identifications for that project is around the 12% mark. For the 2021, I think we're in that 33% mark for identification. So lower than previously, but somewhat to be anticipated. But there have been instances where we would have thought there would be more, and there haven't been, just like you noted, the Pittsburgh factor.
Yeah, it's just, the average age of the house is so huge. It's just, it's kind of confounding. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Barry? Seeing none, thank you, Barry. We'll move on to the Chief Environmental Compliance and Ethics Officer report.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and members of the board. So for this month, I really wanted to just take a moment to highlight our NPDES permit, which is for discharging stormwater from small municipal separate storm sewer systems. So you'll hear this permit called as a MS4. PWSA is a co-permittee with the city of Pittsburgh on this permit, and it regulates our storm sewers that directly discharge the surface waters, as opposed to those that may connect to a combined sewer. The reporting period for this permit ends here at the end of the month, June 30th, which is why I'm highlighting it. And environmental compliance has been working to comply with those permit requirements, as well as coordinate with the city on their responsibilities. One condition of that MS4 permit is the provision of employee training to help prevent and reduce stormwater pollution from activities such as building maintenance, construction, storm sewer maintenance. And PWSA's used our learning management system, which Human Resources implemented this year to help electronically deliver and track our MS4 training. That learning management system, along with implementation of our comprehensive training and development policy back in January, has really been an important step to help improve our delivery and management of training to our staff. I'd like to recognize Marie McIntyre, who's our training and development manager, who's really played a critical role in helping to develop and implement those training efforts. Next month, we're going to use that same learning management system to provide a staff refresher and training on our code of ethics, our code of conduct, our whistleblower system, as well as our environmental compliance requirements. So that LMS, or learning management system, has been a very important tool that we've implemented. Looking ahead, in July, we're going to begin to kick off implementation of our environmental management information systems software. This was approved last month by the board, and we've been working to get those agreements in place. That system, as a reminder, is going to help us facilitate some data capture, task management, auditing, and really just help support our environmental compliance, as well as some of our health and safety programs. Use and implementation of that system's been recommended by our monitors and auditors, and certainly it'll be a welcomed improvement to our environmental compliance process. Finally, PWSA continues to work on expanding our environmental compliance manual. Right now, we're working to incorporate all of our PWSA facilities by September of 2023. That's in accordance with our administrative agreement. And we're scheduling assessments of our field service facilities, our pump stations and water storage facilities, and a few other sites to help review the environmental compliance requirements at those locations and proactively address any identified gaps. So that concludes my report, but as always, the board, our PWSA staff, as well as our consultants and contractors are always welcome to contact me if there's any environmental compliance or ethics concerns or questions. So thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Do we have any questions from members of the board or comments? Don't see any. I'd just like to say thank you. Thanks to you, Frank, and thanks to Marie for all the work you've done to develop the training for staff. It's great to hear that that work continues and is really being utilized in specific ways around MS4. Now we'll move on to our Chief Executive Officer's report.
Thank you, Chair Strasburger, members of the board, and the public tuning in. As was evident from the reports before me, we had a very active month. I want to begin by acknowledging the visit that took place 1 week ago today by the Vice President of the United States, who was joined by the Secretary of EPA and the Secretary of HUD, and they visited Pittsburgh last Friday. And to our knowledge, the dignitaries chose to visit Pittsburgh to highlight the progress we at PWSA, as well as our community partners and government partners, have made to address sources of lead in drinking water and in properties such as homes and childcare facilities. And in addition, they were speaking to the importance of additional federal funding that will be available nationally to advance lead remediation efforts. Believe it or not, the events last Friday marked the second time the Vice President has publicly cited Pittsburgh as a national model for combating exposure to lead in drinking water. In December of last year, I was invited to participate in an event put on by the White House where we got that initial acknowledgement. So I'm just really proud of the recognition, and I think it undoubtedly reflects the commitment from our employees, the consultants that we rely on, the contractors who we rely on to do the work, as well as our community partners. And this work has taken place over the last 4 years. It has been difficult, but these rewards are really rewarding for everyone involved. And I think importantly, they reflect the guidance provided by our board of directors for PWSA to be transparent in the way that we addressed lead with our customers, the policies that we created with a focus on equity for replacing lead lines, as well as authorizing us to get the resources that we needed to begin this work and perform it in a meaningful way. As Barry mentioned in his updates, we currently have 3 programs underway this summer and began last spring to replace full lead service lines, and we're making serious progress toward our goal of replacing all of them by 2026. Meeting this goal will require that we take advantage of the funding that the Vice President was in town to speak to that will be available over the coming years. And I believe the type of recognition that we received last week puts us in a really good position to do that. Last week, I also had the privilege of representing PWSA at the American Water Works Association, commonly known as AWWA, at their annual conference. I was really proud to participate in a panel on gender equity in the water workforce. And more importantly, really honored to represent PWSA at the preeminent gathering for drinking water professionals and share the story of Pittsburgh and PWSA and what we have been up to. I was happy to have the opportunity to update people who hadn't heard about the progress that we have made over the last few years, but arguably more rewarding was hearing from people who had already heard about the work that we had done. And these were individuals from across the industry, across North America and the world, really, that I came into contact with last week. Again, a testament to the progress that we have made, by no means saying that the work is over, but I do want to share all of that positive feedback that we have received over the last week. Finally, shifting gears to our monthly performance report, I'd like to call your attention that we just barely missed our target of 98% for our actual meter read rates. Last month we were at 97.93%. So I feel like we can maybe give the team that 0.0% and say that they met their goal, but we're just shy. And this improvement, again, is a reflection, I've highlighted it before, of teamwork from our plumbers within our field operations group and our customer service group, responsible for scheduling appointments to go inside of homes and swap out meters that were either are old, that we had on routine replacement, or meters where we are not getting a reading, so that we can go ahead and figure out why that might be. We have an obligation to our customers to provide accurate meter readings. It helps inform them on their water use, as well as it helps us compile accurate bills, which is our ultimate goal and responsibility. So kudos to the team. We're going to continue to monitor that metric, and I think maybe we can get that 0.07% next month. And with that, that ends my remarks, and happy to answer any questions you, Chair Strasburger, or the board may have.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Will or comments? I'll just say, of course, we all know that we don't do this work for the accolades. And I know that that is certainly not your motivation, but it's nice when they come, and it's nice when they come in the form of the Vice President of the United States visiting Pittsburgh and highlighting the work that PWSA has done, because it helps to tell our story, and it helps to instill the confidence in PWSA that we want every customer to have. And those who might not have been paying as much attention as we as board members have certainly need to hear that story multiple times to be able to allow it to really be absorbed and understood. So I'm glad that this continues to catch the attention of federal and state officials, and the work that so many have been doing over the last few years here at PWSA. It's just great to hear. Thank you. Well, thank you.
Erica said it magnificently, but congratulations. It's certainly takes a big team, and you've assembled a team that's really putting Pittsburgh on the map in this respect. So thank you.
Thank you, Peg. Well, that concludes our reports and updates. We'll now move on to resolutions. We'll begin with resolution number 85.
All right. Good morning again. Resolution 85 is authorizing me, the Chief Executive Officer, to enter into an agreement with Jones Lang LaSalle, also known as JLL, for commercial real estate brokerage services. The purpose of this engagement is to assist us in identifying warehouse and field operations, as well as administrative headquarters space. We have a desire to consolidate and optimize our real estate. And it is important to note that a fee is provided upon identification of a property. So at this point, this is just authorizing us to enter into the agreement with JLL.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
Motion to approve, Audrey Morrell.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Peg McCormick Farren.
Thank you. Any discussion, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 85, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Abstentions? Opposed? Resolution number 85 is approved. Thank you. Resolution number 86.
Resolution number 86 is a request for the board's approval to award a professional services agreement for CMCI services, construction management and construction inspection services during the construction of the Highland Reservoir Rising and Supply Main Project, a WRP project, to AECom Technical Services Incorporated in the amount of $988,095. I did want to note the total supplier diversity commitment goal by AECom of 28.6% WBE participation. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you, Barry. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
So moved. This is BJ.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Mark Thomas.
Thank you. Any discussion?
This is BJ. I have a question for Barry. Is this related to the next resolution, or are they two separate projects?
They are two separate projects.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, BJ. Any further questions? All those in favor of resolution number 86, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Resolution number 86 passes. Resolution number 87.
Resolution 87 is a request for the board's approval to award a change order of the capital contract for the construction of the Highland number 2 reservoir liner and cover replacement to Layfield USA Corporation in the amount of $414,450.23. During liner installation, the existing roadway has had multiple areas of significant asphalt deterioration near the top of the reservoir embankment. To minimize the risk of additional deterioration or failure and the potential subsequent delay to this consent order driven project, it is PWSA's best interest to repave the surrounding reservoir roadway. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
Motion to approve, Peg McCormick Barron.
Thanks, Peg. Is there a second?
Second, Mike Domark.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 87, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Resolution 87 is approved. Resolution number 88.
Resolution 88 is a request for the board's approval of a change order of the capital contract for the construction of our 2019 large diameter water main improvements project, specifically Rising Main number 3, to W.A. Petrakis Contracting and Landscaping Company in the amount of $1,859,064.17. As clarification, this project incurred additional costs due to unforeseen conditions, specifically the intrusion of groundwater between the steel cylinder of the pipe and the cement lining in the pipe, requiring a change in the type of lining. Specifically, we are going from a glass fiber to a carbon fiber reinforcement polymer lining. This is resulting in owner-directed changes that must be addressed through this change order. To try to summarize it, the existing concrete lining that was to be removed as part of the design has proven to be very challenging to remove during construction. Condition that we couldn't really identify during the internal inspections that were conducted during the summer of 2020 because it would have damaged the pipe that had to be immediately placed back in service. Therefore, it was more cost effective in our analysis to leave this concrete in place due to the challenge of taking it out. But as the GFRP lining cannot be placed directly onto cement mortar lining due to concerns of what it would do to desiccating the existing lining, which would ultimately fall apart and challenge that liner, a new CFRP lining system is recommended. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you, Barry. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
Motion to approve, Audrey Morel.
Thank you, Audrey. Can I have a second?
Second, Thomas.
Thank you, Mark. Do we have questions or discussion? I'll just say, obviously, this isn't an unexpected and undesirable situation. It sounds like you're handling it in the most kind of prudent and responsible way possible, and happy to support this. Thank you. All those in favor of resolution number 88, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? Resolution 88 is approved. Resolution 89.
Resolution 89 is a request for the board's approval of an amendment of the professional services agreement for the design services for the Aspenwall Pump Station to Landford Reservoir Rising Main, or redundant Landford Rising Main, to Michael Baker International in the amount of $404,958.76 to address various additional design services for unforeseen project requirements that were needed to obtain construction permits, as well as approvals to implement the project, and in addition to addressing other external stakeholder comments that were not routine by any measure or could have been evaluated, and other factors such as the scheduling impacts in order to obtain these permits, as well as the approvals needed for the construction of this project. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you, Barry. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
So moved, BJ.
Thank you, BJ. There's a second.
Second, Mike Dolmark.
Thank you, Mike. Discussion from the board. Seeing none, we can call a vote. All those in favor of resolution number 89, please say aye.
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 Abstain, opposed? Resolution number 89 is approved. Resolution 90.
So sorry. Resolution 90 is a request for the board's approval to award a change order for the I am so sorry. I picked up. I'm in a board meeting. Can I get back to you?
Yes.
Thanks. Bye. I thought I was muting it. I actually picked it up. I apologize. Resolution 90 is a request for the board's approval to award a change order for the installation costs for the water treatment plant sodium hypochlorite tank emergency replacement to Wayne Krause Incorporated in the amount of $90,800. This project is for the replacement of 3 of our sodium hypochlorite storage tanks in the sodium hypochlorite storage building at the water treatment plant. This change order will address the additional costs for the contractor, Wayne Krause, to disconnect, remove, and dispose of the 3 existing tanks, as well as to install the 3 new tanks and replace and reinstall the relevant piping appurtenances and equipment associated with those chemical feeds. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you, Barry. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Peg. Is there a second?
Second, Mark Thomas.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions for Barry on resolution number 90?
I don't have a question. I just have a comment that having now joined a few fellow board members walking through the treatment plant, I can actually see what you're referring to, and that's a really good feeling. So thank you.
Thank you, Peg. I agree with you. After too many years of serving on the board without having seen the water treatment plan, I agree with you.
Is there any, I think I'm looking at the right thing, any more detail on this good faith effort submission that they put in there, Barry?
I would suggest that I probably have to defer to Emily Pontarelli with regards to the follow-up on the good faith effort.
Okay.
This one is, I'll note this for this type of a contract, when they're supplying the tanks themselves and the installation work, it's self-performed. It can be challenging for them to be able to actually achieve any measurable supplier diversity. That being said, we still strongly encourage them and try to find ways for them to actually incorporate.
Okay.
Thanks for the question, Audrey. And we can flag this and ask staff and Emily to report back to the board on this particular number, understanding some of the challenges that Barry just outlined.
Sounds good.
Let's see. All those in favor of resolution number 90, please say aye.
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 Abstentions, opposed? Resolution number 90 passes, is approved. Resolution number 91.
Resolution number 91 is a request for the board's approval of a change order of the operating contract for the construction of the 2021 urgent water repair contract to Layfield Construction Incorporated in the amount of $450,000. This change order is required due to several significant and costly infrastructure failures of late, including repairs on Butler Street, as well as North Neville Street, 23rd Street, and Mary Street, in addition to 5th Avenue and Grant Street and Liberty Avenue repair projects. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you, Barry. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second, BJ.
Thank you, BJ. Any questions or discussion?
Just a comment for Barry. I think if you look back on the resolutions that we've approved and those coming up, I just, thank you for your flexibility. As Erica said, it's clear that the board has faith that the prudent decisions are being made, but it just seems like you are constantly in a position where you need to respond to major infrastructure or who knows what other unseen obstacles are in your way. So thank you for your tenacity and your patience.
Thank you on behalf of staff.
Thank you, BJ. And I would agree. And I would say that, you know, any kind of change order of this sort and the flexibility that you mentioned gives me at least some satisfaction that we are doing the work to help out future generations of PWSA staff to identify and map out exactly what our underground infrastructure looks like, so that hopefully there are fewer, if not, a zeroing out of emergency orders and emergency breaks that are, you know, that happen from time to time. At least we know what our infrastructure looks like and have a clear picture of that in a digital format. So let's see here. All those in favor of resolution number 91, please say aye.
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 Abstentions, opposed? Resolution number 91 is approved. Resolution number 92.
Resolution 92 is a request for the board's approval to award a capital contract for the construction of the 2022 small diameter sewer rehabilitation contract number 1 project to Jet Jack Incorporated in the amount of $3,747,935. This project is for the completion of our proactive trenchless rehabilitation of our sewer mains that are less than 36 inches in diameter to restore the structural integrity as well as reduce the root intrusion and to reduce the infiltration and inflow through this installation of a cured in place pipe liner. Work to be performed under the 2022 contract number 1 project is located in the West End neighborhood of the city of Pittsburgh. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you, Barry. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
Motion to approve, Mark Thomas.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second, Peg McCormick Barron.
Thank you, Peg. Are there any questions for Barry? Seeing none. All those in favor of resolution number 92, please say aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? Opposed? Resolution number 92 is approved. Resolution number 93.
Resolution 93 is a request for the board's approval to award a capital contract for the construction of the 2022 small diameter sewer rehabilitation contract number 2 to In Situ Form Technologies in the amount of $2,099,731.50. Work to be performed under contract number 2 is located in the Overbrook and Carrick neighborhoods of the city of Pittsburgh. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you, Barry. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
Motion to approve, Mark Thomas.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second,
Second.
Audrey Morel.
Thank you. I think that was Audrey. Thank you, Audrey. Is there any discussion on resolution number 93? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 93, please say aye.
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 Any abstentions? Opposed? Seeing none, resolution number 93 is approved. Resolution number 94.
Resolution 94 is a request for the board's approval of an amendment of the professional services agreement for construction management and inspection services for the 2021 manhole and point repair to Whitman, Recart and Associates, WRA, in the amount of $77,000. This amendment addresses owner-directed changes whereby PWSA requested that the 2021 manhole point repair contractor add a third construction work crew to what the base contract requires of 2 crews in order for PWSA to address a high number of manhole repair sites that were being identified for repair under the current urgent sewer contract. Accordingly, an increase in the CMCI personnel coverage is also required. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you, Barry. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
Motion to approve, Audrey Morel.
Thank you, Audrey. Is there a second?
Second, Mark Thomas.
Thank you, Mark. Any discussion from the board? I just have one question about the terminology. I know what a manhole is. Can you explain what point repair refers to?
So point repairs are any particular deformities or breaks or other flaws that are in the pipe itself. So to be able to access the pipe, you have to actually excavate, and it's what we identify as a point repair. It's a localized area, just addressing that one single failure.
Thank you. I appreciate that explanation. Any further questions from the board?
Barry, do you remember this was the third amendment? Do you remember, was it the same thing that caused the second one? You may not remember. That'd be fun.
I think the other ones were due to increased load, but not specifically addressing this third crew.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 94, please say aye.
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 Any abstentions? Objections? Seeing none, resolution number 94 is approved. Resolution number 95.
Resolution 95 is a request for the board's approval to award a capital contract for the construction of the Volunteers Field ball field regrading project to Eisler Landscapes Incorporated in the amount of $733,077.50, as well as approving the entering into a cost share agreement with the city of Pittsburgh for this project, and authorizing the chief executive officer to enter into and sign the cost share agreement with the city of Pittsburgh on behalf of PWSA. So the Volunteers Field is a park that's located in the Carrick neighborhood. This project includes a combination of regrading the fields number 1 and 2, eliminating the inlets on the ball field foul lines, as well as installing a bioretention facility in the vicinity of field 1 and an drainage system under field 2. This is a municipal separate storm sewer system, as Frank was referring earlier today, an MS4 project that will meet total maximum daily load TMDL requirements to reduce sediment in the sawmill run. This project will specifically reduce the sediment loads entering small sawmill run watershed through the combination of the regrading of the ball fields, as well as the construction of the infiltrative green infrastructure management practices. I did want to note that the total supplier diversity of this project is 89%, and staff recommends that the board approve the award. Do you want to take these in 3 separate steps, or just should I ask for all 3 at once?
Let's see here. So we would be looking at.
So we could approve the award.
Is there a separate resolution that you're referring to here?
No, there's technically 3 approval items we will need for this one. So the first is approval to award the contract to Eisler for $733,077.50. Then the second vote would be for the approving the cost share agreement with the city of Pittsburgh. And I apologize, I didn't necessarily specify that. The cost share with the city of Pittsburgh, PWSA will be responsible for paying $420,000, 57% of the total project construction cost. And the city will be responsible for paying 43% or $312,000 of the construction costs based on the improvements versus the stormwater related project elements.
But it's
That would
part of
be-
the same resolution. Am I reading that right?
This is the same resolution.
Okay.
And then the last would be approving Will Pickering, Chief Executive Officer, to enter into and sign the cost share agreement.
I would recommend taking it as one resolution, one vote for 3, unless we have anyone, Mark or anyone otherwise recommending that we handle this differently.
No objection.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So we'll take it all as one. Can I have a motion to approve all 3 items within the resolution number 95 for discussion?
So moved, Audrey Moreau.
Thank you, Audrey. Is there a second?
Second, Michael Mark.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions or discussion here?
This is
Yeah,
PJ. I'm channeling Jim Turner. I'm wondering if, because we are only assuming a part of this cost, the number in the resolution should be the amount that we are assuming, or that should be made clear.
So if I can provide, and if anybody else within the executive team wants to contribute, but what I would say is I believe it would have to be the total commitment value of $733,077.50, only because it's a reimbursement that we receive ultimately, but upfront PWSA is responsible for actually covering these costs. So it's at a later point that we receive the reimbursement.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? from the board?
Just a real brief comment. Those of you familiar with Whiteman Park, or as some people pronounce it, Whitman Park, that's Eisler's work. They did an excellent job there. It's a ball field. They, in fact, spent time showing me around and touring the plumbing with me. So this is a fine choice for this kind of project.
I would second Mike's observations and comments. All right. All those in favor of resolution number 95, please say aye.
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 Opposed, abstain? Resolution 95 passes, is approved. Resolution number 96.
Resolution 96 is a request for the board's approval to award a professional services agreement for engineering services for constructability review for the 3 water reliability plan projects currently under design by Brown and Caldwell, which includes the Aspenwall pump station improvements, the Brecken pump station improvements in the Clearwell emergency response project that we reference as the ABC projects, to Answer Advisory, also known historically as the HR Gray firm, in the amount of $391,510.92. This task will provide for the comprehensive constructability review of both the 90% and 100% design submittals by our design consultant, Brown and Caldwell, for the 3 ABC projects. I did want to note that the total supplier diversity commitment goal of 47% WBE participation, and staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you, Barry. Can I have a motion to approve for discussion?
So moved,
Motion.
Mike Dolmark.
Thank you, Mike. Is there a second?
Second, Peg McCormick Barron.
Thank you, Peg. Any questions for Barry on our final resolution of the day? Seeing none. Barry, I want to thank you for being on the spot for so many of our resolutions today. Great job. All those in favor of resolution number 96, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstain? Seeing none, resolution number 96 passes. Is there anything else for the good of the order? I want to thank you for allowing me to chair and step in today, and hopefully move things along as well as we could. Thank you all for being here, and I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Audrey Morrell.
Thank you, Audrey. Is there a second?
Second, Mark Thomas.
Thank you, Mark. Our meeting for June 24th, 2022 is adjourned.
Great.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Well done.
Bye.